everyone, and welcome to the newest episode of the Sports and Laws podcast. I am Coach Cody Bowes. As you can see, I got new graphic in the background to
Hey, we're
match my
big time
co-host
over here. Big time.
And, as
Oh,
we need a new introduction for Coach Alan Pierre. And Alan, I'll let you introduce our newest guest today.
all right. So another brother-in-law decided to step up and take a crack on a little bit of venting, as he's the biggest Chiefs fan we both know combined, and he's probably in a weird spot to where since for the last 9 years his team has been a consistent member, and without further ado, Mr. Brother-in-law Wilson Love.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Glad to be here. Didn't know how to get married to be on my first podcast, so kind of glad that happened. So, yeah, maybe I should start a podcast. I don't know, but yeah, I'm just glad that apparently the last game the Chiefs won, Cody got to be there for it. If he remembers.
Listen. I have vented on here about that game before. I've thought I've made my peace. I keep going back and watching it. I have not made my peace. So if we can stray away from the Colts slander against the Chiefs, that would be great.
I don't even think it's a Colts slander. It just shows that, like, that's what they had in them all year, and they're having a top 9 pick. So it's one of those where it's like you look at the Chiefs and you go, what went wrong? And you go, they're not a bottom 10 team. So next year, things are looking good for them. It's just going to be, what does Veach do this offseason to kind of turn them around?
Mike McDaniel.
That's everyone's dream. I don't think it's going to happen. I'm actually kind of hoping it's the Rams coach. What is it? The passing game coordinator. But it looks like he's probably going to go to the Browns. Apparently, the Browns are offering him or wanting to offer him the head coaching position.
Oh, Nate. I don't even know how to say that name. Nathan Shields.
Yeah, because I think what they got to do, they need to kind of just set up and go, hey, Andy Reid's almost 70. Why don't you just come in for a couple of years, learn the system, learn what Mahomes likes, and then you're kind of a head coach in waiting. So, and if he's a young guy, he gets to learn a couple more years. He gets a head coaching job by the time he's 40. I think that's a win-win.
So right now,
do you not think that McDaniel could be in that same situation? Like, he's still young.
I still think McDaniel's still young, but I know kind of like me and Alan were kind of talking about it. I think he would rather go to the Lions. Like, it just kind of seems like it'd be a better fit for him. Kind of. Well, you actually kind of thought that Andy Reid might be better because he's not as vocal like Daniel is.
Right. My thought is you try to get with a guy who flocks to your style already. And if your criticism is, oh, my discipline isn't what it's supposed to be. Oh, let me go to a guy who had a similar issue back in Philly and his tenure during Kansas City. Plus, I get to coach Mahomes. Plus, I am almost, in the coach in waiting. And, I'm the, hey, shake hands, kiss babies kind of deal where it's not official, but it's official as long as I don't screw anything up and I want the job.
Do you think McDaniel would work with Mahomes? Because McDaniel seems to be so much on timing routes of you're going to go 3 steps and throw to that guy. But what makes Mahomes so great is that he does so much whenever the play kind of breaks down.
I think that's what they need. So because you're right. I think that's what happened with Kyle Shanahan and why he didn't even take a look at any of those quarterbacks back in 2017. But if McDaniels can take a step back and go, okay, I'm going to be able to continue the quote unquote dynasty, get a lot of credit from it, which is what the problem was with Bieniemy. And I can talk about Bieniemy all day about why I thought he should have gotten an opportunity to coach. But McDaniels can almost come in and go, hey, look at me, everybody. I kind of saved the dynasty when they were tendering, and all we did was we added some more timing routes and some jet sweeps that actually worked.
I mean, that is true. If he comes in and they are a top 10 offense next year,
Mhm.
everyone's going to be like, why wasn't he a head coach again?
Exactly.
So I think they would
Exactly.
almost kind of have to do that as like guarantee him a job that like, hey, when this becomes available, it is yours. Because if not, if the Chiefs are a top 10 offense, he's going to get poached next year by
Oh,
somebody.
1000%. Almost kind of how McDaniels was. Remember back in the Patriots where McDaniels, and
Yes.
he did not go to the Colts where everyone's like, you had wait, why are
Yep.
you not going to the Colts? I know, I know, I know. Go with his face.
Just
I
another
know.
notch in the belt
Sorry.
loop.
You don't want McDaniel. He's not a head coach. He's just not a head coach.
Oh, we know
That's
that
that's what
now.
I keep
Yeah.
Yeah,
telling myself.
we know
Yeah.
that now. But at that time, everyone's going, "Why are you doing that?" And everyone's basically going, "Oh, because Bill's basically giving him the job if he wants it." And
Yeah.
Yeah.
obviously, that's not what ended up happening. He ended up going to the Raiders, but yeah. So I almost think that's kind of how they would have to play it. Is hey, we want you because you're doing these things that we want to improve upon. I
Yeah.
look at that as running game to help Mahomes with timing, and in turn you get credit for fixing our offense and get to become the head coach in waiting.
Yes. But I don't think any of that matters. Like, kind of, if we've looked around, I know kind of all the focus is on offense. One
Mm-hmm.
of the scariest things I think that like Chiefs fans are not talking about is that Spags is getting interviews for some head coaching. I don't
Yes.
think he's going to
Hmm.
get hired on, but he is such a valuable piece. Now, if Spags does go, Dave Merritt is kind of his like second in command.
Uh-huh.
They would have to throw the bag at him, like, do not go with him, stay here. I think Spags is going to stay. I think it's just an interview to kind of see what he has. I
Right.
don't think any of these young guys are going to, or like the younger teams are going to want a 67, 68-year-old coach to
Correct.
come in. Because, like, if he's good, what, 3 years later, he's going to retire.
Right. No, I agree with you. And then not to mention with everyone so focused on offense, it's hard to be an older defensive coach.
Yep.
I think that's why Lou Amaruno is going to stay in Indy just for that reason. Even
Yeah.
if even if he wows got an owner in the interview, everyone in that building is going to go, but coach, sorry, but Mr. Owner
No,
or Miss Owner, we have to we have to look at offense. We have to that's the
yeah.
trend. We have our young quarterbacks, so on and so forth. We have to develop all these guys.
Well, that's what they say they're scared of is like if you get rid of one, uh, if your coordinator has 1 or 2 great years, they're just going to leave,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And like, as great as Spags is, if he's gone, you can go get another great defensive coordinator a lot easier than a great offensive coordinator.
Mm, I see that. And as a defensive guy, it hurts to say, but it's true. Like the offensive guys are special. Like it, if you get a good offensive guy, now, when you're looking at defense, it's the perfect marriage, in my opinion, has always been you get a good defense of coach that can motivate and build and almost
Yeah.
teach your offensive guys to go out and get coaching jobs, but you just know, hey, I'm gonna beat you, almost kind of like Nick Saban was.
Yep.
Like none of his assistants beat him because he's like, I taught you everything you know. You're
Yep.
not you decided to cover 3-by-1 with cover 2. Oh no, I didn't see that before. I remember that combo against Mississippi State. You thought I forgot? Oh man.
So, do you think like even say like there is a conversation with McDaniel, and like you said, what could be good for Patrick Mahomes? Do you think that conversation could go a little bit like, listen, we got Patrick Mahomes here. Whether or not you'll have Kelsey or not, that's a different
Yeah.
topic conversation. But we got these young playmakers on the outside with Worthy and possibly Rasheed Rice, depending on what happens with his
I would say
situation.
he's probably not suiting up for the Chiefs again, if I had to bet. Um, so we'll just kind of leave that as a maybe. And
Oh,
even then,
okay.
if you do get lucky with Travis Kelsey, you're going to have him for 1 year more, max,
Yeah.
I think. So I think either way, it's a short conversation.
So
No one cares about who
my,
your receivers are when you have Patrick Mahomes. That's your selling
right.
point, you know?
That's and in my opinion, I think the best thing for McDaniel next year would be looking for, a coordinator job to show that he's still, he has all the tricks up his sleeve. and a place like Kansas City could do him good because Patrick Mahomes can make him look good.
Oh yeah,
But like
of course.
the only question behind that will be, is a team going to fall for it? Like, was it McDaniel or was it Patrick Mahomes? That's what, like, Detroit's interesting too because they got all those offensive weapons as
Yep.
well. So and
I think if I was McDaniel, why I would want to choose the Chiefs is that you get to learn under Andy Reid. I think that is very important for him because of all the other things that Alan said. But number two is that like he's going to run his offense to perfection. And whenever the play breaks down, he's going to be able to fix little things that Tua never was able to. We've seen Tua run an amazing offense, and Tua is not that great of a quarterback. Now, I think what's going to make Mahomes a better quarterback is if they brought in McDaniel, is the running game is going to get 10 times better. Because I think he would be pounding the table and said, get me a running back. I cannot run this offense without one. So even if Veach and Reed were like, I don't want to run an offense, well, McDaniel said, we're going to get a running back.
Right.
Jeremiah Love, the Kansas City.
No. I would, if that happens, I will be very upset. I think he's going to be a great player, but whenever you're paying guys $55-60 million, why would you take a running back and pay him $8 million in the draft whenever you need D-line help? Chris Jones is going to be 31, 32. Go get an edge rusher. Or if the edge rushers, the top 3, top 4 go off the board, get the number 1 receiver. Because if Rashee Rice is gone, you need to have someone who's going to be a very valuable position, but that's still also going to save you money. Go pay Travis Etienne $10 million a year, $12 million a year. You're not going to, but if you can get someone that's going to get you 30 sacks, 40 sacks in his rookie deal, that's going to save you $100 million over the course of 4 or 5 years. That's what they have to be looking at.
So are you looking at more of like the younger kind of running back wise? Because I know like me and Alan had the conversation before of the possible, meeting of getting Kamara from New Orleans. Like I know he's not too terribly old, but he's also not, he's kind of in that, that mid range. What would
And
something like that
The
look
Saints
like?
will need to do something with his contract because
Yeah.
he's going to make almost $20 million next year, and that's a lot, especially for a running back on that cap
Yeah.
hit.
I think what they're going to do is kind of what I've heard rumors of kind of what they're thinking from the people I listen to. Ooh, Herbert just looked like he just got knocked out. Sorry. Um, is they are wanting to bring in Romeo Dobbs is kind of who they're looking at for wide receiver because
Okay.
he's going to be that mid-tier guy who they think can get 70, 80 catches a year. They
Will they
believe
have
that
a guardian cap to fit him?
they will have a guardian cap with all the money that Lamar Hunt is saving moving to Kansas. They'll be able to give him some money, so it's going to be pretty good. I heard that's kind of part of the contract. So, but there's a lot of rumors that they're going to move on from McDuffie as well, Trent McDuffie. So I know a lot of kind of people are
See
kind of
that?
like, well, why would you do that?
Yeah, I need you to explain that because we've had that conversation. Because on face value, I'm going, he's a corner. You don't find good corners just lying around. So explain it.
So if you're going to look at like the corner situation, the 2 names that pop up are going to be Spags and Dave Merritt. Those 2 have been finding diamond in the roughs. And Veach has been drafting corners left and right that have just been amazing NFL cornerbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Noel Williams has really kind of come on as a rookie where he plays on the outside. Kind of what the talks have been from what I've been hearing is that McDuffie wants to play on the outside because he wants to be paid like an outside corner.
Mm-hmm.
But he's an all pro level player in the slot. So they're going to go, we can give you $20 million a year. You play in the slot, you'll be the best slot corner in the NFL. If you want to make 25, 30, go play on the outside, we got guys that can do 80% of what you can do at 10% of the cost. So they're just having to play that, money ball. And if they don't have many draft picks, it kind of makes sense. I don't think they're doing the 5th-year option, I believe, on him. Or no, they did on I don't know if they have the 5th-year option able, but they can franchise tag him. But I think they're going to move on from him. And I actually think it's the better position because they have pretty good outside corners that I think can do a good job. And whenever he missed the last month, there was no difference in our defense.
Okay. Okay. Was there anything about this season that made you go, "Yep, this season's over"? Like, or any red flags that you saw that kind of popped up because you already kind of steering the conversation towards the season as as a
Yeah.
whole. Like, what were some things, or was there a moment that you're like, okay, we are not the Chiefs?
It was kind of all season, but yet you still saw a glimmer of hope of seeing that, like, they're still the Chiefs. You know, like,
Fourth quarter
sorry.
against
Yes,
Indianapolis.
that is the one where, like, Chris Jones just took over and you were like, yeah, he's still going to be 31, 32 next year, whatever it is. He's still going to have games that he can just absolutely take over. Um, Kelsey, for everything that everyone said he was old, he still had like 800 yards receiving, and he was still top five. Like, he's still a top five tight end this year. It's just that he's used to being so above and beyond every other tight end in the league that people were like, oh, he didn't have a great year. He had a good year for a tight end. He just had a bad year for his standards.
Right.
I think if
He
you kind
led
of,
the he led the Chiefs in receiving this year. He had 851
yeah,
yards on 108 targets, 76 receptions. I mean, he had 5 touchdowns.
yeah.
So I mean,
It,
that's still 300, almost 300 yards more than your next leading receiver,
yeah.
which was Hollywood Brown.
If you told me next year that Kelsey came back and hit those numbers, or even like 1 or 200 yards less than that, you'd be fine with that.
Right.
Um, I think what you kind of noticed was probably around October, we just looked like the same issues that we had 2, 3 years in a row were just kept popping up.
Okay.
And what felt like we had the fixes, or at least we drafted guys and they never were playing them. So it's kind of like, why are you not playing these guys? Because Andy Reid does not like to play rookies. So it's just kind of this over and over thing of going, why will you not try to at least see if he can play?
Hmm.
So I think it just kind of injuries. I think there was a lot of hubris this year of just, oh, we'll figure it out. We don't need to change anything. And eventually it's just too late. And even then, like the last 3 weeks of the season, they were still not really kind of doing the playing the young guys to kind of see what they have for next year. Like, the season's lost. Why are you playing Hollywood Brown?
Right.
Like, you know what you got. You drafted a rookie wide receiver. Why don't you play him 100% of the snaps and just see what you got?
Okay. Um, is there anything that you felt like, hey, I will defend this guy to the max on their roster. He may have gotten a lot of crap because I kind of heard Kelsey, but I feel like that's
Yeah.
kind of obvious. Was there another guy on the roster, offense or defense, that you were like, hey, he's not that bad. I don't get why he's getting all this hate.
Um, that's a good question. I think there was kind of a more of the opposite, where it's kind of like people who were
Okay.
saying this guy's actually way better than he is. Um, I think case in point, I think Nick Bolton's a good running or linebacker, but he just can't cover tight ends and running backs.
Yeah.
And it's been years and years, and they've known that.
Hmm.
And last offseason, they gave him $15 million a year. Um, Kind of, if you look at it though, it would just be kind of like going back to that. What were they doing? You had Thornton, who they came in from the Patriots, who, whenever Rasheed Rice was out and Worthy was out, he was the only one that had a connection with Mahomes.
Hmm.
And you could just kind of see it early in the season that, like, he trusted Thornton to go get the ball. And then later on in the season, he was getting like 8% of the snap shares, and Juju was getting like 30, 40%. And there was like 4 or 5 games in a row, he only had like one catch for like 8 yards each game.
Yeah.
Where you're like, what are you doing? Here's a young guy who can run a 4.3, and Mahomes seems to trust him. Just play him.
Right.
It's just the same thing over and over. Where I think it was more of a coaching malpractice, and that kind of did the season in than players personally.
Okay. And can you go in further depth about that? Like, what did you see that was like, oh, okay, this, what is Reed doing, or what is Nagy doing, or you shoot, what is Spags
No,
calling? Okay.
well, I mean, kind of. I think Spags. I would actually say he did more with less because the Chiefs had no pass rush this year.
Yeah.
Um, Even whenever guys were going down and getting hurt, they were still a great top five, top 10 defense, points per game. So that's why, number one, go get a pass rusher because then that's only going to help Chris Jones. And Karloftis is going to be he's a cleanup guy. He can't be your number two or even your number one best pass rusher. So if you go get another pass rusher, that's going to just help everyone out. And then Spags can do what Spags does and dial up some stuff. Um, on the offensive side, it just kind of seemed like it's going to sound unfair because it's going to sound like a scapegoat, but obviously Matt Nagy's not coming back. So it just kind of seems like they kind of just piled everything on him and said, it's kind of on you.
Hmm.
Um,
And
they
that's true,
fired,
right? Like, I've seen reports, but you're in it more than I am. Is that
yeah,
legit? Okay.
from what I've seen, and from what I've heard kind of from people that are in the room, they said like Matt Nagy takes care of the little details. So if you look at it, it's kind of Reed is saying, this is what I need you to do. Okay, the day to day, you're going to handle it. So he's your manager,
Oh,
Reed's the CEO.
right.
So why are you messing up on all these little details that you need to be doing? Um, there's a report that came out about Connor Embry. He was our wide receiver coach, was because they did finally let him go.
Hmm.
But apparently they said Xavier Worthy uh, said he learned more from like 6 or 7 weeks with DeAndre Hopkins than he did with 2 years as him as his coach. And if you kind of watch like some tape and stuff, they couldn't beat man to save their life. You have a guy who runs the fastest 40 time in combine history, another two guys that are running 4.3, and you can't beat man coverage. Like, that's just inexcusable.
So then, how much is that on Reed for not addressing that sooner?
I think that's what it is. I think a lot of it is like the hubris
Okay.
of they figured it out. I think we're gonna look back and just be like, if you go back 2, 3 years, where Sky Moore and Kadarius Tony were your number one and number two, Mahomes took them to a Super Bowl and won. Like, like that is absolutely crazy.
That's true.
So I think there was just so much hope of like, even whenever they were like 2-5 or 2-4 or whatever they were, everyone was like, oh, they'll figure it out. They
Hmm.
just got to sneak into the playoffs and they'll be fine. Who cares?
Hmm.
They'll go win 3 games on the road. He'll find a way to do it. And then they just didn't find a way to do it. And they were just losing those games where they would normally win. And eventually you look up and you're out of the playoffs.
Is uh is Mahomes going to be ready for the beginning of the season next year?
Honestly, I think so. I think he's just one of those freaks of nature that is like, he's going to do anything possible. Like if he has to just put a whole room in to probably like sleep in, what are those like,
The Matt
whatever
Hibernation.
Stafford
Tim,
effect, like
yeah,
the
Yeah.
chambers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
yeah,
hibernation chambers or whatever.
yeah.
Cryogenic chambers. Yeah.
Like the reports that came out about like he had surgery within 24 hours of it being his ACL tearing. So it's like usually it takes about a week or so. Even like 3 days is quick. So it being done that quick kind of to me says he's gonna do it.
Right.
Yeah, it kind of feels like in his mind. I know I hate to, don't really want to put myself in Mahomes' shoes, but like it almost feels like he was like, "Hey, if I don't get this done, like we don't have anybody." Because like me and Alan talked about the one week about the Patrick Mahomes effect, and just when he was off the field, how that team seemed like it was completely
Oh
different
yeah.
team. Like you
Yeah.
go out and I hate to say that you got thumped by the Titans, but you kind of did.
Oh, they got dog walked by the Titans. The Broncos they played good. And then the Raiders was one of the most master classes of how to lose a game in NFL history. Like,
Yes. Yes, I'm glad you said that.
like, hey, let's call a timeout here. But you know what though? You got a top 10 pick now instead of picking 12. Like at
Right.
the end of the day, you're going, do I think it's the end? Like as bad as this year was, I still think it's going to be one of those things that actually makes them better in the long run. Because you're going to probably get a pretty good D line. Even if you get a guy who's just as good as Karloftis, who I think is like a low mid two, high three. You got another guy like that on this D line, it just makes the whole defense better. Um, but kind of where the big thing is that their second round pick is only going to be 8 picks lower than where they've normally been picking their first round. So that's one where people are like, that's the same tier caliber players. That 30 to 45 range, it's all the same players. It's just positional value of what you like. And then you can kind of take a running back in the second because you're not going to take a running back in the first. So there's a lot of things where it's like, well, those top 2 picks are actually going to be a lot more valuable than I think people think. That top 10 pick is really exciting, but it's that pick that's going to be 41, I believe. That's going to be the really nice one.
Have you seen any projections on mock drafts about who they could possibly take? Okay. No,
It's
sir.
going to be too early because I think it's going to be. Is it going to be 2 quarterbacks taken? Is it going to be 5 quarterbacks taken?
Right.
Mendoza. What's the Oregon kid?
Oh,
More.
more.
Deontay
More,
Moore.
and then I think Samson's coming out, and then now the Ole Miss he can't come back,
Oh yeah,
and then I think I
Trinidad.
think there's going to be 4 or 5. There's going to be probably at least 4 quarterbacks taken before they pick.
Mm-hmm.
So that's going to only help them. Um, but again, like I think it's going to be one of those. I think they have to just go D line as much as a wide receiver would be good. Andy Reid doesn't play rookie wide receivers. Like, why waste a top 10 pick on a guy who's going to sit on your bench for 9, 10 weeks?
Right.
So do you think there will be more likelihood a rookie gets to play on defense rather than the offensive side of the ball?
Oh yeah, I think Spags will throw him out there. I think he likes having the veterans, obviously, but I think he's more willing to play. And plus, with D line, you're not going to play 100% of the snaps.
No.
Even if you're a
Right.
great pass rusher, he can throw you out there on every third down and just says, "Go get the quarterback." If
Mm-hmm.
you mess up, whatever, like it's not that big of a deal. You give up a play,
If
like
you Yeah, because if you guys remember this name, RJ might, but Bears a rookie a couple years ago, Mark Andrews, he ended up getting like 14 sacks his rookie year, and all they did was just situational football.
yeah.
And it was like this. I think it was a season that they ended up going to the NFC Championship game. It was almost the same thing. Not the only
Oh,
reason I
because Khalil
remember it.
Mack was there,
Yeah,
so he was the
yeah.
cleanup guy.
Yes,
Yep.
that's his, and he was a rookie. So imagine that your rookie year, you're
Yeah.
playing against the better Roger, and he's sending quarterbacks your way, and you're just going, "I was just here."
Yeah.
Right place at
Hey,
the right time.
Right?
but you know what though? There's enough of those guys that don't do it.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just like, yeah, I just had to be there. But other guys on every team have that opportunity and they never do it.
Yeah. Oh man. Kansas. So, as a Missourian, how'd you feel about it?
I mean, I think it's pretty dumb because I love Arrowhead. I think football should be played outside. Again, shot at Indy. Uh, but
No,
it's okay. At least it's
I'm
not
sitting
Gary,
here taking the
Indiana.
arrows so Chris Ballard can live.
Oh, there you go. I'm glad. That's a Chief Legend right there. He was with us.
Yeah. You can have him back.
Uh,
Hmm.
uh,
I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think it's going to be one of those that like it's going to be very interesting because it's going to be I think Mahomes is going to be about 37
mhm,
when they open, and it's going to be I would assume he'd play till he's 40, but you never know with quarterbacks too. He
right.
might get there, and if he's chasing Brady, he might be like I'm playing, but there's a world out there where we suck and we haven't won a Super Bowl since. And he's like, I'm good with what I did. I'm gonna retire and just play my last game at Arrowhead. Like, I don't know. It's 6, 7 years down the road. Whatever happens, it's like 15 real miles. I don't really care.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Okay. A couple quick hitters for you. What is one word you would describe this season?
mm, can you bleep? Just press the beep button for me.
This is a family show,
The
Wilson.
family program, man. Family
Family
program.
program.
We have kids
Family
watching
program.
this.
There's kids watching. Go to bed if you're watching this. Let's see. You know what? For our mother-in-law, I'll just say shoot the cow. I said a lot of shoot the cow this year. That's all I did.
Oh,
God bless it, right? God
Yeah,
bless
God
it.
bless it and
man.
shoot the cow. That's how you know. You're just like, what are we doing?
What's a bold move you want them to make this offseason? A bold move. Obviously, they're going to have draft picks, but
Ooh.
big move. Hey, we go for this guy, or we do this thing, or
Ooh, bold move. Depending on, I think they're going to get rid of Rasheed Rice. I think he's just going to get cut or traded. Um, I would honestly love to see if a team would package McDuffie and Rice together. And okay, number 9, McDuffie and Rice for Justin Jefferson.
straight up, or a first in there, or what?
And I think just straight up, you get Justin Jefferson with Mahomes for the rest of his career. You're trading Rasheed Rice for him. And you know what? You're going to miss out on a pass rush, but who cares?
Yeah, that's certainly bold.
You
That's a
said
bold.
bold.
That's a
You
bold
said
move. That's a bold move.
I don't think they would take it. I don't think that's a realistic trade, but it might work in Madden.
Right.
Yeah, so you know what? I'll run it through the Madden simulator
Yeah.
tomorrow and see what happens.
Yeah, you tell me if it's even close. If I need to throw in like a late round pick swap, I will. But a realistic trade that I'd want them to make though, man, I would love honestly just McDuffie for a pass rusher. I think they're so much stronger at D line or a corner that if they could trade him for an above average pass rusher, I would do it.
Okay. That makes sense. I actually like that because it solves your problem with your cap. Whoever you bring in, I would assume that'd be at most a 3-year deal that the other team is taking it care of because they're the one getting rid of them. Yeah, I like
Well,
that.
it's one of the things too is with Veach is he's been aggressive. I mean, they traded for Frank Clark.
Mm-hmm.
He's done, kind of depend on who you believe, was the driving force behind Mahomes. He wasn't the GM, so he didn't get to make the calls. But like they were willing to give up 2 firsts and a third for him. Like they've made aggressive moves before, and I think this year they're going to make aggressive moves. I mean, he traded away Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
Like you have to be a lunatic to do that. So I think they're going to make. I think they're going to go in saying we have to have that type of offseason again.
Okay. 20 years later, when it's all said and done, how do you want to view this run of the Chiefs? This era of the Chiefs, how do you want to view them?
So this is one of those where it goes, if you look at it if it stops today,
Mm-hmm.
they're saying there's only one other dynasty that you could say is better, and that's the Patriots.
The team that just beat the Chargers.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
It's 16-3. It's not over yet. But if you look though, even then, you would have to say, are they one dynasty or are they 2 dynasties? I think that's what's going to matter the most. So I'm just going to say they never go to another Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They're the second best dynasty of all time.
Okay.
They're better than the Cowboys. They're better than the 49ers. They're better than the Steelers. And they're better than the Packers. Okay. And even the 90s Broncos. They went to 5 Super Bowls in 6 years and they lost in the AFC championship in that 6th year.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they reinvented themselves 2-3 times during that run. Like, it's not like they had 5 or 6 guys retire. Like, every single year, they were 20 new guys on that team. That is an impressive feat.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna take a short break and then we'll be back at it. All right, everybody, welcome back. So, Wilson, our other brother-in-law, is doing an excellent job. So make sure to let him know in the comments. We've been asking him, grilling him over about his Chiefs. So we're sending over the questions to him. So, Wilson, you got any questions for us?
Yeah, Alan, is Bryce Young good?
I am going to treat him like a bridge quarterback.
Okay.
Picking up the 5th-year option was the smart thing to do. You do not pay Bryce Young over $35 million after, and he played fantastic.
Yeah.
I'm literally going to send an article out that's ready to go for tomorrow to my editor. And so definitely check it out about that and how proud I am of those guys battling and pounding hard against the Rams. But it's going to be very tough for me to justify paying that man a big amount of money because I do not want us to be like the Dolphins. And I like that. The Dolphins for me is case A of like, oh man, we got so much, we can do X, Y, and Z. Oh, we're limited because our cap hit on our quarterback that cannot take us over the hill. And now,
for sure.
And to Bryce's credit, he is more durable than Tua is, but still, it's 5'10", under 200 pounds, playing NFL quarterback. That's tough, man. That's tough. So, long way to say he's okay.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a long way.
I was this close to texting you last night. That was like, man, the Bears probably wish they had Bryce Young right now. And I was like, I'm going to hold it.
Let's wait.
Because I was like, the Packers are going to blow it. We all knew they were going to.
Oh, yeah. So, it was like the Grim Reaper. I literally saw it coming. It's like Jason, Freddy Krueger, all the bad guys coming, and you guys are just doing everything possible to let him kill all of you.
Oh, yeah.
And he
nothing
did.
you can do.
There's not a darn thing they did. Yeah. Oh, my goodness. So.
All right, Cody. So I know the Colts traded away 2 first-round picks.
Yep.
But that's not my question. How do you feel losing to your sister-in-law in the fantasy football championship?
Okay. Like I said in the family group text, I blame the AFC South and the Eagles because the Eagles didn't play Saquon.
Yeah.
Jonathan Taylor went MIA for the last month and a half of the season.
Don't worry. We'll fix that next year. We're not doing that last week, week 18 championship. So don't worry about it.
Yeah. Reading off my starting lineup for the championship game, because I started looking down my roster going, who am I going to play? So I know I started Drake May against, let's see, it would have been the Dolphins. Yeah. So I figured that one would have been fine. But let's see who I can start or who. All right. So going down the list here, I had Drake May, Travis Etienne, who he was playing against the Titans. Thought he would have done good. Jonathan Taylor got me like 8 points. Stephon Diggs, lackluster. JSN. Granted, the Seattle dominated San Francisco that week, but it wasn't JSN. It was all the run game. And she all of a sudden picks up Charbonnet an hour before the game starts. Loveland, I started him over Warren because I didn't know what to expect with Riley Leonard. I figured Loveland would have a good game. He did. In my flex position, I started Jaden Blue because he was starting for Dallas that week.
I think he might have been your best player that week, too.
He was. He had most points. But other than that, on my bench, I had Saquon. I had Devonta Smith. Tyler Warren. I did move Daniel Jones to my IR because if I won a ring, I wanted him to get one. I wanted him on the roster at that point.
You know what, don't you guys hang the banners anyway?
Nope, we got rid of it. AFC South or AFC AFC finalist. Yeah, we got rid of that. That is currently hanging at Barstool Chicago right
Oh,
now. Jim Irsay gifted it to Big Cat and
that's
PFT,
good.
so that
Oh,
is
That's
out of the
good.
building.
That's pretty
I think
cool.
I think you just got to get a banner.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure my wife would love a fantasy football runner-up banner hanging somewhere in this house.
I mean, as long as you get the one that says she won the year before, I think she'd be okay with it.
Yeah, just get a banner that has all the years on it. Have a split name. Have Cody and Cassie on one side.
Yeah.
Championships, mine would be 0, but her. Yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, it's.
Okay,
Hey,
then.
I'm
Yeah.
glad you decided to take a shot at my fantasy football team instead of the real life team. So
You guys
we're
still got
good.
a good player. It's okay. Like, she seems tough, but she seems like she's going to try to turn it around at least. I'd rather
Yeah,
have an owner do too much and care than not care and just care about the money.
yeah. That's one thing I'm excited for, and people are grilling her about the end of the year uh press conference. First time, first season as an owner. People are like, "Oh, she looked nervous, like she doesn't know how to run a football team."
Yeah.
This is her first time doing it. Like her
Yeah.
dad took care of everything. So
Yep.
I didn't look too much into, I mean, I did take some things she said and was like, well, what, like the sense of urgency, having urgency. It's like, you know, where was that? I mean, why wasn't that a thing last year coming
Yeah.
in? Granted, we spent a little money, more money than we have in the past. What else? Like saying that the the attitude towards Ballard is now like he has to perform to keep his job. It's like this is the last year of his contract.
Yeah.
So it's like if he doesn't do good, you guys don't have to come out and say, "Oh, we're firing him." I think
Yep.
if you come out and say you're firing a guy, shows you have more urgency than you're just not going to renew his contract.
Yeah.
Right. Right.
But you know the Colts have their issues. Did I celebrate prematurely this year? Absolutely.
I mean,
Like we
you thought your team was going to be bottom 5, bottom 10. Anybody would have celebrated. Like, because you're like, they're winning. They already won more games than you thought they were going to all year.
Hmm.
So, of course, you got to celebrate.
a lot of people were saying like the expect the Colts to go 8-9 again this year, and then we started off 8-2. It's like finally you break that 8-9 curse.
Yep.
Fast forward, Daniel Jones is hurt. Sauce Gardner isn't playing. Philip Rivers is now your quarterback. Like, is this 29? Is this 2020 again? No, it's 2025, and we had to ask a 44-year-old grandfather to come out of retirement to try to save our season when apparently we had a diamond in the rough, Riley Leonard, who torched the number 1 defense in the league, sitting there the whole time. So I've made this tangent one too many times on this show. Alan has heard hours upon hours of
Yeah.
me
It always
going
comes
at
back
this.
to this. It always comes back to this.
Sorry.
All road
Sorry.
so far since we've started this show, all the roads have led back to the pain of what I am enduring in my quarterback room. And we're not even going to bring up the other person that's in the quarterback room
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Just
we
stay
talk
far away.
about that. We talk about him a lot too.
Well, then I got one more question for both of you. Then, there's been a lot of talk this week about Josh Allen.
Mhm.
If Josh Allen does not win the Super Bowl, do you think like he's going to get talked about differently? And should he?
He should. He won't. He won't because the excuse will be, well, we knew about Sean McDermott. I mean,
Mm,
come on, guys. What else do you? His like Gabe Davis is hurt, guys. Come on. He's got. Who do you want him to throw to? And I like
yeah.
Josh Allen. I do. And I actually want him to be successful this postseason run for everyone else's sake in the media because
Yeah.
a lot of people are going to be dishonest real quick
Oh
about
yeah.
his standards and the goalposts will be moved for Josh Allen. And again, Josh Allen is a likable guy. Like him, like
Yeah.
him, like him. But you know,
Yeah.
the standard's different.
It's just the same thing. He shouldn't have won MVP last year. It still makes me mad. And I'm not even that big of a Lamar guy. But like the rules have changed, and I have to hear every week that Allen is a better quarterback than Mahomes. But whenever Mahomes in a big game is down, he goes and scores. And every time Allen gets the chance to beat Mahomes, he either turns the ball over or they punt. But yet he's a better quarterback.
Hmm.
I thought Peyton Manning was a better quarterback than Brady, but Brady beat Manning. So like, that's a little too soon there.
I did, but you know what? If I can take with what you said that you think Peyton Manning's better than Tom Brady, that's
I,
all I needed to hear. My
I
nice
still think
piece.
he did, but like at the end of the day, though, the best quarterback wins is how I
Right.
see it. And it's one of those where it's like head to head in a one off game. Yeah, that happens. But for it to happen like 4 times in a row, it's the same reason why I think Joe Burrow's a better quarterback than Josh Allen. He beat him when it mattered most. So like until Josh Allen can do it in the postseason, nothing else matters to me. He could go out there if he doesn't win this year and he goes out and they go like 17-1,
Hmm.
if next year's 18 games and they win an MVP, I'm not going to care unless he wins the Super Bowl.
Right.
Like you have to win the Super Bowl to be the best quarterback in the league. That's just how it goes.
When you're that guy, like obviously you have
Yeah.
your one-offs, so on
Y-
and so forth.
yes.
Like today,
But
I
Jalen Hurts is not the best quarter. Is not.
bingo. That
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
exactly what I was
Yeah.
thinking. Yeah.
Yep.
And that's okay. Like there's nothing wrong with being if you have a guy who's a good but he does his job, you can win the Super Bowl. I think Jared Goff, if everything goes right, can win a Super Bowl. I don't think they will, but
Hmm.
they can win a Super Bowl. But if you are that top guy and your team wins the Super Bowl, it's because you were the best player in the world and
Yep.
you won the game. Like
Yep.
that's whenever it was clutch and it was 3rd and 11, you made the throw that got the first down.
Oh yeah.
And Wilson, I think kind of like from where you're sitting there from like a Chiefs fan perspective with the whole Bills and Chiefs, quote unquote rivalry going on, you're sitting in a win-win situation because you're sitting there and either the Bills don't win the Super Bowl and you're like, okay, yep, still can't get it done, or they do win the Super Bowl and you're like, well, look who wasn't there.
Yeah.
Like, so it's
And
like
and
whatever
that
Bills fans will
yeah.
have nothing to say about can't won't have anything to say back to Chiefs
Nothing.
fans about like, hey, we finally won a Super Bowl. Hey,
Yeah.
congrats. You know who wasn't there? The Joker to your Batman.
Yes. And that is one. Well, I think Mahomes is the Batman, you know. So I
Depends
don't
who
think
you
it's fair.
ask.
I don't think it's fair to call him the
You don't
Joker.
think you don't think he's more Superman like? You don't think he just
Uh,
carries everything?
I think it's kind of like that. Yeah, he's just a boogeyman. Like that's just what he is. You know. I would hate him if I wasn't a Chiefs fan. Like just honest. Like who wants to watch the same player in 5 out of 6 Super Bowls? No one.
Nobody. That
In 20 years, people will look back and go, "Oh, he was so good," because
mhm.
they're not going to remember the highs and lows
Yeah.
of week in and week out of like, "Oh, this guy threw 3 touchdowns. He's the best quarterback this week," or no one cares about that 20 years from now. They're going to remember MVPs and Super Bowls and playoff runs.
Mhm.
And right now, Josh Allen, outside of the wild card, has had 2 good games. You know, and even in his greatest game he's ever played, Mahomes outplayed him in the 13-second game.
Yeah.
So sorry,
Yeah,
I love Josh Allen, but the talk about him is just so outrageous. Whenever you got to compare it to Mahomes, it's okay. You're a number two. You're not a 1A 1B. You're a
Wow.
number 2 behind him. Just win one, and then maybe you can have a conversation. Whenever the guy you're looking up to has been to 5 Super Bowls and won 3 of them,
Right.
you're not in the same conversation.
And to
yeah,
help
to
you
go
sorry.
ahead, Alan.
I was just like to help your point, even with the Brady versus Manning situation, and this was pre '07 before
Yeah,
like the talk was okay, yeah, Tom Brady's winning the Super Bowls, but that's just because he has the best
yep,
defense. They play outside, yada yada. Like his division's easier. Peyton Manning's literally the offense, and when they won, it was three to
yes,
one, and guys were like, "Hey, I think this," but Brady's still a great quarterback, so on and so forth. And obviously, then '07 happened. Then
yeah.
the talk kind of went away.
Well, and Manny had the awards too. It's kind of
Yep.
weird because, like, if you look at it, it's kind of like 3 quarterbacks in one are versus Mahomes. It's Allen, Lamar, and Burrow. Burrow's been to the Super Bowl. Allen has won an MVP and Lamar's won 2 MVPs.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of being like, well, this group is the same as this guy. So it's not even a neck and neck situation. It's kind of like a tier 1, tier 2, but they're trying to say they're all
Tier 1.
equal.
Yeah.
And I remember kind of going back like about the talk of like Josh Allen and being like, oh, if he loses, they're going to say the excuses are already going to be coming out. The 13-second game where everyone loves to say that Allen outplayed Mahomes, Josh Allen had a top 5 defense and the Chiefs had like a top 20 defense. So yeah, you outplayed him, but now I have to hear that the Bills have a bad defense. Again, I don't want to hear it. Like, he took the one of the top 5 worst defenses of all time and lost to New England in overtime where he never got the ball back. Like, just at the end of the day, if you're the guy, you're the guy. And I don't want to hear excuses about how a bad member of your team ruined it for the guy. You're the quarterback. It falls on you.
Man. Goodness.
Yeah, to really wrap up this quarterback discussion, to put it in Avengers terms, it must be nice for Wilson to be able to talk about he either has Iron Man or Captain America, and me and Alan have Hawkeye and Ant-Man. And yes, I chose Ant-Man specifically for
1,000%. No, I would have said I got Ant-Man. And Ant-Man's fun. He ain't Iron Man. He's not Tony Stark, and he for sure.
He's got his own movie.
He's got his own movie.
Yeah.
Hey, he's got moments.
I still think if you're gonna say Mahomes is Thanos, I'm sorry. Like,
okay,
because Avengers, there was one outcome where he gets beat. Guess what? This year you got your one. Every other season has been every other outline where Thanos wins.
But hey, guess what? Thanos never comes back.
Oh, that's a good point. That's a good point too. Well, they're probably gonna make him come back in like 8 years. They're gonna be like Avengers War 5 or something. Thanos comes back, like
yeah.
So.
Oh man.
Yeah. Well, Alan, you want to give us a little rundown on what you thought yesterday was like?
Oh, okay. So I've already kind of teased it and I posted it on my channel, but let me just start by saying that I'm so proud of the Panthers. I thought they for sure were going to win no more than 7 games and kind of be hot near the end of the season, kind of like how they were. And the fact that they were able to host a playoff game, win the division with some help. I mean, with some help, but it's, guy, you know how it is. It's just fun to watch your team win. And especially when they haven't won in a long time. And I'm under no illusion that they are Super Bowl bound. It's about two off seasons away from really actually competing. And the biggest question mark, like we talked about, is Bryce Young. I still don't quite know what his ceiling is. I feel when I watch him, we are limited, but this is the NFL, and if you can provide your team efficient play at the quarterback position, you can move the chains in a timely manner, and you have the pieces around you, anything can happen. And I'm not comparing Jalen Hurts and Bryce Young, but it's almost the same thing where I feel as though when I watch Jalen Hurts, I don't see a top 10 quarterback. I see a guy who can move the chains, and that's sometimes all you need. It's just, hey, let's move the chains. We will find a way to move the chains. So that's kind of the blueprint I have in my head. Jalen Coker, I'm going to start off with him. Undrafted second-year player. He's cleared at number 2. We're going to trade Leggett. I'm going to write an article about that coming up. And we wasted a first-round pick on him. And part of it was just the traits. Hard to pass up 6'3", can run a 4.4 at the bottom of the first round. He took a crack, but he is not who we thought we were. And we drafted McMillan instead, and Tetro is killing it.
He's good.
He may not start for every team in the NFL, but he's for darn sure starting for at least half of them. He's really good, and I like him. The defense really stepped up. Evero's defense has been mocked consistently on Twitter and on stuff online because, like, man, these guys were terrible, and they were. But for a middle of the pack defense that was horrible last year, they've uh, they've they are top 10 in turnovers and interceptions. They are middle of the pack in stopping the run and stopping the pass. And the fact that Stafford in that number one offense just didn't score every single time and they made key stops, I'm impressed with. I just want to say that I as a coach, I look at him and I go, this is a young team that just is learning how to win, and they need some veterans this offseason to actually make the next step and be true contenders and compete. But the pieces are there, the foundation's there. Let's plug in some gaps with some veteran leadership. We need a desperately, like the Chiefs, we need some pass rushers. It's gonna be hard to get them in the draft, especially in the where I assume it's gonna be 20. See, that's how long it's been. I don't know. When you make the playoffs, I just assume, oh, we're gonna have a top 15 pick this year. Oh wait, no, we won't. It'll actually be kind of low. So even if we get a pass rusher, it'll probably be the number 6, and that's just depending on quarterbacks is. So I expect, if I'm the Panthers this offseason, I'm spending money on 2 edge rushers. I was looking at Jalen Phillips, who the Eagles have. That he's my number 1 guy. And then I may take a crack at Hendrickson for 2 reasons: leadership, and you can throw a bag at him, give him sign a big contract. My hesitation for him is obviously age and his injury concern, but I just feel like we need legit edge threats. Nick Scorton this year, he has provided a lot of pressure in our linebacker, which I've really liked, but we need somebody to help him out on the other side. I'm really disappointed with our linebacker play. Roseboom has been playing a lot better, but we need an actual middle backer because he's more of an off the ball linebacker anyway. Like, he's more of your you call it the wolf, like your weak side backer that can almost fly around, cover an athletic tight end, and not actually make the checks. We need somebody who can actually make the check. Like, I would take Nick Bolton.
Yeah. You like, trade for him?
But hey, I may because he would actually solve what we like. We just need a guy who can help coordinate the defense on the field and get guys in position. Because a lot of times, a lot of the stuff that we gave up this year, guys are just out of position. And especially with the defense ever runs is, hey, and it's not new. It's everybody does this now. Too high safety. Hey, bend don't break. We'll send some blitzes here and there just to change the pace of it. But we just need to make sure everybody's on the same spot.
If you guys are looking
stay
for
away
someone,
from Leo Chanel.
That's who I was going to
stay away from Leo Chanel.
I was just about to say
Chanel, but also Drew Tranquil.
Drew Tranquil would be fantastic.
He's lost a step. Oh, what just happened? He's lost a step, but whenever Nick Bolton was hurt, he ran the defense for the Chiefs. Did miss a step.
Okay.
So, like, that's what he's good at, and he's going to get, like, $4 million a year. Like, he's going to be a perfect guy. But he has lost a step. But if you're not asking him to cover linebackers and running backs,
we just need a guy to play them. Yeah, we just need a guy who can cover the middle and coordinate the defense, at least for the next 2 years. And if you think...
Yeah, I think he would do at least 1 year. He has some weaknesses, but, like, he's a good enough linebacker that, like, if he's out there, I'm not like, oh my gosh, why is he out there?
Right.
He's still a good linebacker. And for the money, I mean, $4 million for a starter, you can't beat.
No. And I'm focusing a lot on the defense because a lot of it's just journeyman guys like Mike Jackson. I didn't think anything of him. He was just a name to me. And then the fact that he's made some of the biggest plays this season has been fantastic. On the offense, it ends with our quarterback. Like, we've paid a lot of money in the offensive line. We've already drafted several receivers. We just need to get another tight end. I'd love to either sign Likely's the guy who I'd like to sign, but I assume he's probably just going to go to another contender or something. I can see them throw money at Pitts. Tepper really wants to win, like this, even after, like, he's even stated that, hey, he's ready to commit even more money, which was fantastic. So it's just like, okay, hopefully Dan Morgan can make the right moves and trust the process about because like you're saying with Irsay and even with Hunt, where it's like I my frustration with Tepper was never the fact that he was trying. It just felt like he was imposing his will on the thing that he quite didn't understand. And it seems like, hey, I'll provide you guys with the support that you need so you can run this thing because I pay you good money to do that.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like it's like, hey, let me. You're in a restaurant, and you go in the back to start cooking, and you're like, okay, this is fine dining, but you're upset that your steak is raw. Okay,
Yeah.
I don't know what you want from me. So, but yeah, wrap it up. I'm just proud of those guys. I was realistic. With all I can make every keep pounding joke, but it was just true. Like those guys just kept pounding away, and it took like my wife Kiona. She was like, "Why is that their name?" And I had explained to her there's a whole lore, but the idea is that hey, back in 2003 when they made their Super Bowl run, they were known for running the ball consistently. And even if it looked like a cloud of running the ball with 3 yards and a cloud of dust, you're just gonna keep pounding away, chiseling away, chisel until it breaks. And it's the same idea here, where hey, those guys kept battling, they kept fighting through. It looked rough, and it's just that spirit. So it's unfortunate, but it's what we got.
Right.
Know what you got, man.
Mm-hmm. And from what I was only able to watch bits and pieces of it yesterday, but listening to it kind of seems, especially on the final drive, not the final drive, but the one the Panthers scored on. To me, I feel like they scored a little too early. I mean, I could be wrong, but you gave Stafford enough time, and Stafford does that 10 times out of 10.
Yeah, and I said that when I was watching the game, but I also went, you never know. Like I was just telling myself, hey, the Panthers win the game if they get 2 turnovers, and they almost had 2 turnovers. And that's after they gave away 2 turnovers. So
they
it's
had
like
2 turnovers.
They had 2 turnovers. So I was like, okay. So that was the extra possessions that they had, and that one of them they scored on. I agree with you. It was if the Bills lost, that would have been my point to you guys today of the Bills lost because they scored too early and let the Jags go down in March because they still had plenty of time. Now, I didn't expect Trevor Lawrence to get intercepted on a bad tip ball, but
yeah.
But yeah, I agree with you. I thought they scored too early with all that time, but you're just trying to score.
And the way Stafford looked in the second half too, you never know what could happen because it took him. I mean, he was 9 for 9 to start the game, and then in the second half, it took him 24 attempts to complete 8 passes.
Yeah,
so it's you never know.
They kept alluding to the hand. The hand had something to do with it. I just also think Evero sped it up with more blitzes, and they did a better job disguising with their high safety. So they would play. They were rotating. They shifted between cover 3 and 2-man consistently to where Stafford was never tricked, but it was like, hey, I thought this was this, and they shifted over. So I think it had something. It was a combination of things. Now, when they scored, I was going, okay. I would have felt a lot better about if we had like 50 seconds left versus 38, 37, something like that. But with the timeouts, I was going, okay, we could still go down and at least kick a field goal, and that's obviously not what happened.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
But hey, like you said, you gotta be proud of how they played. Like they kept pounding.
Yeah,
that's really all they could do. I mean, for a team coming in there being 8-9, going up against the number 1 offense, it's like, what is this final? I mean, the Rams were 10.5 point favorites coming into that game.
Yeah, the homer in me took the under, obviously, but like that, I would have done that if it was 50. Like,
yeah.
Hey, You competed, you showed that you had fight in you, and I think that's the most respectable thing out of it.
Yeah. So I'm excited about the offseason. I really am. I'm looking at some draft stuff right now, a couple free agent stuff. Like I'm just hoping that we can build on this because I mean there's no reason for us not to. Like we're there. Okay, let's build upon it, especially with our division. I don't know who I'm fear there's no shot Harbaugh comes, but that's the name, that's the coaching name where I go, oh,
yeah,
crap. Okay. If they get almost any other name that I've seen, I've kind of going, okay, we can still win this division again. Because like we talked about, you never want to do the thing that makes the other teams in your conference go or division go, crap, they did that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I think Harbaugh is the name that everyone wants, but I still think Stefanski's the best hire. Like I think he's gonna go somewhere and possibly win Coach of the Year next year. I think he's just gonna be one of those guys that comes in. He's gonna make sure, as long as like if he goes. I'm just trying to think, like if he goes to the Giants and Dart is pretty good, they have a good defense. Like they've won a lot of games with Cleveland with no one at quarterback. Like, and they gave away 3 first-round picks for Watson, who was a terrible bust for them, and they've still won some games. Like, I think he's a really good coach. Just Harbaugh's the better name.
Yeah. Why hasn't obviously it's still into the season, but like what's no one's pulled the trigger on him yet, because he's a name who I would have thought someone would have picked up, or at least like, hey, we're trying to finalize a contract, yada yada. What do you think the holdup is with him?
Do you think it could be to see if maybe one of these coaches that are in the playoffs loses their job, like a LaFleur, or depending what happens with McDermott, something in that nature?
That's what I was thinking.
People keep saying Tomlin. I don't see Tomlin going anywhere.
No.
I know me and Alan were kind of talking about it, and we said we just kind of wish Harbaugh and Tomlin would just switch spots.
That would be great. That would be that'd be great television.
And it's just they both just need a change of pace. They both go to their rivals. They're both staying in the division. You know what? Let's just put Stefanski in it, and they just draw. Heck,
you could do it with Stefanski and Harbaugh.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, musical chairs. Everyone move one team to the right.
Yep. And then
except for you, Zach Taylor, you stay there. No.
Well, you can't pay 2 coaches. You could never pay 2 coaches. So he's just gonna be like, no, you're not allowed to go. The registration fee is too expensive.
Unless you're the Raiders and you can pay $50 million to 6 different coaches.
Hey, you know what? He's trying to win at least.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Gosh. Like, oh my gosh. Yeah, I forgot about that. Goodness. Oh, all right. All right, it's getting late. Hey, any final thoughts before we wrap this episode up?
Wilson, I'll let you go first if you've got anything.
Final thoughts, Wilson.
I think there's going to be a lot of people that were laughing this year for the Chiefs, and especially at Mahomes. And I think it's going to be one of those that, like, if you've ever watched anything on Patrick Mahomes, he's just one of those dudes, the Kobe's, the Jordans, the Brady's, who are just, oh, okay, I'm going to remember that. And is that the guy you want to piss off?
Okay.
So that's not a bad word. This is a family-friendly show.
Tell your bride this is a family show. That's a family
show. Okay,
that's fine.
Jeez.
Cody, what about you, man? Final thoughts?
As far as NFL wise, no, I've kind of accepted my fate. I'm glad you guys are excited for the offseason because I'm a nervous wreck because I don't know which direction I'm going to go. One thing I am going to announce here is that I have put in an application to start writing for the St. Louis Cardinals on Last Word on Sports, but that would mean I'm giving up my spot on the Colts.
Okay.
I would still do things with the Colts, obviously like on Medium, kind of like what I'm doing with the Cardinals right now.
Right.
But you guys know me. I'm a baseball guy. I
Right.
always have been. I always will be. Big thing though, right before we got on here, I recorded my first solo podcast on baseball.
Hey,
Yeah.
hey, we'll link that. We'll link it. We'll link it.
It's called the Dugout Report, and the first episode drops tonight at midnight.
Okay.
How did that name
you-
not get taken?
Yeah.
Are you sure that name's not taken? Because that's a great name.
I chat GPT'd everything, and even they're like, "Hey, take it." So I took it, and the first episode comes out. Well, I guess tomorrow morning at midnight. So we'll see. We'll see how that
Okay,
goes.
dude, that's
That's good.
awesome. That's awesome. Yeah, we'll
That's
link
good.
that. We'll link in the description. Goodness gracious.
And
that's
it
awesome.
will be. I found a software I found how to get it on Apple and Spotify as well. So it'll be pretty easy to find once everything gets up and going.
That's
Good.
awesome,
Good.
dude. Okay.
When is this going to be on Spotify?
Whenever
that's-
we get more subscribers and we can get some money out of this, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. This is for fun.
Yeah. This is just family talking right now.
Yeah,
Okay. There we go. Gotcha.
that other people are participating or can hear or listen.
Yeah.
Hey, we're unsullied by sponsorships. Okay, unsullied. This is pure family talk.
We
There we
won't
go.
bend the knee. We won't bend the knee unless somebody comes with a nice check with some zeros behind it. Then we might take it.
We'll have the combo. Oh, all right, everybody. Hey, enjoy your week. See you next week. Take care.
Yep.
Thanks for
Peace.
having me.
Yep.
Absolutely.
See you guys.
Bye.